Who is it that you're becoming? Who is it that you're working towards on a day-to-day basis? You see, many of us kind of go through life drifting by what everybody else is doing, by what seems to be cool, what seems to be fun, maybe, or feels good. Many of us never take the time to analyze who it is that we're becoming. I know I didn't. I know I didn't analyze it for a long time whatsoever. In fact, I was very scared and afraid of who I was becoming in many situations. Why would I say I was scared? Well, I was making a lot of bad decisions. I was leading myself towards a direction that I knew was very ugly and that deep down I knew I didn't want to be like. Yet there I was making the decisions and not making the decision to do anything different. Kind of just, following along with what everybody else was doing. And it's my conviction through watching it happen and studying it for quite some time now that that's what happens to all of us. Just maybe in worse ways or not as bad of ways. Right? Like I was in this place as a teenager where I was headed for death or jail. Or at the very least just being an absolute bum for the rest of my life. That's where I was headed for quite some time. Now, you might not be headed towards that, but where you might be headed is somewhere that you don't necessarily want to be in. Just like I didn't want to be any of that stuff, but that's where I was headed. That's where those decisions were leading me. And part of me knew that deep down. But I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be any of those things. I didn't know what I wanted to be, truthfully, but I knew it wasn't that. So I ask you, who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? Because again, it might not be like you're becoming a junkie or, some sort of bum, like that's going to, make the world a worse place. But you might just not be living up to your greatest potential. You might be becoming someone who lives for a TV show or a certain substance, be it maybe one that's legal, right? Maybe just alcohol. You may be someone who just fails to see the light of life. Someone who fails to be the best parent they could be for their kids. Someone who fails to be all that they can be for themselves. Now you clicked on this video here today, so I don't think that's you, truthfully. I think you're making decisions and taking new action to make sure you are who you want to be down the road. But you have to take into account all the decisions you're making and where you're leading with those decisions. Personal leadership. Where are we leading ourselves? What are the standards we're holding in our life by which the rest of our life will be determined by? They say, I've heard a while back, that 18 to 25 are some of the most formative years of your life. That after 25, it becomes much harder to change, so to say. You're a lot more set in your ways. One thing that can that can help you change something about you after 25 is severely traumatic events, big changes in life that force you to change. Near-death experiences, very extreme instances of maybe humiliation or something that makes you experience something on a deeper level. Then you can turn around and make change. So what is it then? Why do these certain events cause us to, or give us more fuel, you could say, to make a different change, to make something different within our life? Well, if we think about it, near-death experiences, for instance. I don't think anyways. You might not have never had a near-death experience, right? You never considered the possibility of death. I know I didn't for a long time. And then you experience something close to it. You experience something where you don't know if you're going to survive. You don't know if you're going to see the next day. It's easy to see that this can very easily change your way of thinking about how life really is. Like, you're lying on your deathbed and all you can, or you're lying on a hospital bed, so to say, maybe, and you're not sure if you're going to see tomorrow, and you think about your relationships, you think about your family, how your kids feel, how your wife feels, how your mom feels, maybe how your dad feels about y'all's relationship. Maybe you think about some of the dreams you had at one point, those things that you wanted to do, the way you wanted to see the world differently. And then you think about how you didn't do it, and you feel regret. And thankfully, you survive, you make it out of it. You could understand why at that point that would be your time to make a decision to change something about your life, to change what it is that you have regret about, and stick with it. Because it's not just the change in the right direction for a moment. It's the continuing to shift in that direction, to stay on that path. Because the universe will continue to test you. The universe is going to say, hey, you know what? That's not what you're normally doing. Let me send you something that'll try and pull you back. And that's when you have to stay in alignment with this new reality, this new idea about yourself, this new concept, this new direction that you're heading towards. Are you going to stay committed in those moments? Are you going to stay on the path? When shit gets a little hot, are you going to stay in the kitchen or are you going to bow out? Because it'd just be easier to go back to the way things were before. Perhaps that's what's happened several times now, and that's why you're struggling to get out of a bad habit, a bad environment, a bad situation. But don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever think that you can't be the one that makes the difference, because in all reality, you're the only one that can ever make a difference within your life. Nobody can save you. There's no perfect time where it's just going to all make sense. Good luck favors the bold. Good luck favors those who are always working towards the greater end. Are you working towards that direction? Or are you just drifting along, hoping something comes your way that'll help you? Don't wait for some severe near-death experience to make the difference in your life. Realize where it is you're at right now, what you don't like about it. Be grateful for the opportunities and the abilities you have outside of that one circumstance, and begin to work towards a different direction. It's not all in one day whatsoever. That's actually why so many people fail to change directions and continue on the path, is because we think we need to have it all figured out right here today. We need to do it all today, and that's overwhelming as fuck, right? How could it not be? Yeah, I'm going to change everything about my life today. No. You can make a decision today that changes everything about your life as time goes on. But it's the consistency. It's being committed emotionally and showing up consistently that actually helps you shift towards that direction and move towards it on a continual basis. The great athletes of the world, the great thinkers, the great people who make great change in life, they are failing for years and years and years on end before they actually get to the destination that everybody else sees. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Yeah, nowadays more than ever, people can get very popular very quickly and find some level of material success. But true success is working towards a worthy ideal, continuously progressing on that path. That's what success is, because there's so many great speakers, so many successful people nowadays, and even from personal experience, it's not the reward, or it's not the destination that's the reward, it's the pathway. It's who you become on that pathway. It's the experiences and the stories that you have to tell from the path, from the journey. Another instance where you can see this obviously is the lottery. It's some 70-80% of people who win the lottery are back in the same position within a couple years. So you mean to tell me they've won millions of dollars yet nothing changes? Like they go blow it all? Yeah, because most of the time they're not success-minded individuals. They didn't have the experiences that led them to having that amount of money on a rightful basis. They want it. And so they, what, easy come, easy go, right? Success is the pathway. Success is the journey, pushing along through it and enjoying it, being a part of it, knowing why you're on it. Because there's always a higher mountain. Once you do get to that mountain, you want to climb another. Because that's where the journey is. That's the pathway. That's where true excitement comes from for life and appreciation. Where are you leading yourself? Who are you becoming? Ask yourself this on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever, some sort of consistent basis to where it makes sure that you are making the right decisions for your life. I love you guys. I'm going to go speak at a school today. About 2 hours from now, I'll be on stage speaking to middle schoolers, helping them understand their decisions, helping them understand that it's them who gets to choose where their life is heading. Nobody else. And if they just push off the responsibility, well, they're most likely not going to be where they want to be. At middle school age. It's up to us. That's it. Have an amazing day, guys. Let's go.